So you guys are being hunted by an army of mercenaries led by a genetically enhanced soldier.
Look at me. I'm Black Superman.
You're crazy.
Damn. He really is Black Superman.
It's the comic book bullies.
Man, you come right out of a comic book.
It's the comic book bullies.
You will not only for me!
It's the comic book bullies.
Now I am the master.
It's the comic book bullies. It's the comic book bullies. Welcome back to the Comic Book Bullies. Where Nerd is a new bully. I'm your host Leroy with my co-host.
This is Eli.
Yep, and no funny nicknames this time. We're eventually gonna get down to this.
Yeah, I gotta pick one.
I'm the Lion King.
Are you?
Lying. I don't know.
I guess I'll be. Fuck! I can't even remember those motherfuckers' names. You know. Yeah, I'm Eli. The signal.
Well, you got to be the one that is probably gonna get killed out of all of them. Anyway,
It's comics. They never die.
They'll come back. So yeah. This is a brand new show. We're coming back with another show, and like I said, this is an entertainment show, and we want to make sure everybody's having a good time listening to the show. But there is something we do have to address. The tragedy that happened, well, for you 2 days ago, for us yesterday. That's tragedy that happened in El Paso, Texas. And Eli, there was also another one in Ohio.
And another one in Chicago.
And another one in Chicago. Nobody's talking about the one in Chicago.
I just saw it tonight.
I saw that one too. I was like, so it's
like another mass shooting, not the 50 people that got shot over the weekend. Besides that,
right.
It's
like one mass shooting, a bunch of people got shot. So that's 3 mass shootings in less than 24 hours. That's insane. And the reason we have to talk about this, because I know people are tired of hearing about this. You should be tired of hearing about this. We need to be tired of hearing about this, because the point, when we ever get to the point that this becomes normalized, that's when we lost. We need to make sure that every time this happens, we need to make an attention to it, something to happen. Now, like I said, we're not politicians. We're not going to get political in this situation, but we do need to know that something needs to happen. I know people don't want anything to happen, but something needs to happen. Otherwise, you're going to keep getting the same results over and over again. That's what's called insanity. So I don't have the answers. I don't know what should happen. I'm just saying something. I'm just saying not doing anything is the wrong answer.
Yeah.
So,
I mean, fuck it. Yeah. I don't want to talk about this.
I mean, we talked about this like till our face blew, especially on this show. We've talked about this over and over again because it happens all the time, It
does, and it is getting to the point where, like, I'm just drained. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, because the thing is, like, just like you, Eli, just like me, just like all of our listeners, we're in Facebook, we're in social media, we're in Instagram, stuff like that. We know people all over the country. Hell, some people know people all over the world. So anytime somebody gets shot or something like this happen, pretty much all of us know somebody either in that city or close to that city.
Yeah.
You see that, you're like, oh, let me go check on that person to see, make sure nothing happened. I look up, I know somebody in Ohio. I look up there, they say Mark safe from there. I'm like, oh shit, I didn't even know something happened in Ohio, but I saw that to make sure they were okay. It's just so weird, because that's why we need to make sure this stuff keeps getting, brought to everybody's attention and not pushed aside, because it gets to that point like, okay, you ever been to somebody's house and it stinks? But they don't know it because they live there.
Yeah. So
they don't notice the smell. They don't notice the smell until somebody else brings it up. So we don't need to get to the point where America stinks because we live here. We just see all this shit. We don't. This is something we need to get used to. We don't need to get numb to this. So that's why we always need to keep bringing this up. So yeah, that's the depressing stuff we got so far. Other than that, Eli, what happened to you this weekend?
What did happen? I saw a movie. I argued with a bunch of people on Facebook over Tarantino.
In other words, it was Tuesday.
Yeah. Chilled. Yeah. Worked. Same old shit, basically.
Okay, cool. Nothing wrong with that. Did you get a chance to see New Mutants?
Boom-pow.
For people don't know what's going on, New Mutants is a running joke right now. It's a movie that honestly I don't think any of us are gonna ever happen.
Yeah,
And
the one X-Men movie I wanted to see.
Which is crazy. And the thing is, we're going to talk about a lot of X-Men on this podcast, so I know Eli's excited for that.
Yeah.
Because here's the thing about New Mutants, what's so funny about it. If you go to the Facebook page, the poster says New Mutants coming out August the 2nd, 2019. Okay, I get that. I get they missed the date. But when you miss the date, why don't you take that shit down? Why don't you change the date or something? They said, fuck it. They just left it up there.
Yeah. It was supposed to come out like 2 years ago.
It was supposed to come out 2 years ago, but they have the date for 2 days ago.
Yeah.
Nothing. So it's become a running gag where people are online and just saying people are pretending like they've seen the movie and just making up a bullshit plot for it. So like that. Oh man, when Galactus came out and punched Thanos in his asshole, that part was awesome. So I'm just reading all these Twitter feeds like that. I'm like, New Mutants is the gift that keeps on giving. So thank you, Fox. So it really feels like Marvel is probably just gonna just bury this movie, just keep it going from there. Or maybe we'll show up on Netflix or Hulu or not.
I'm sure they'll dump it somewhere.
They'll dump. It's a dumping ground.
I mean, if I want to see it, and I don't even give a shit about the X-Men, I'm sure there's people out there who will like, hell yeah, I want to see this shit. So I mean, I'm sure they'll throw it somewhere and just call it a what if or some shit. Just so it doesn't fuck up their brand or whatever the fuck they're doing. The MCU.
I guess. I mean, I don't because they want. I guess they want the X-Men movies to end, officially with Dark Phoenix.
Yeah.
Why I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, and this one might be good, and people might want more of this shit. But they're like, oh shit, we can't. We're not gonna do any of this shit anymore. So.
Right. So just kill it right now and just be done with it.
Yeah, so maybe it's actually good.
We can't have that.
Yeah, so.
What do we look like? Warner Brothers? Swamp Thing? No, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Which we would talk about that
sad
later
because they were supposed to, what I heard is they were supposed to add, a digital character, which made me think of, was it Warlock or whatever? And
one of them, they got some kind of robot mutant on there or something.
Yeah, I'm like, okay, but I don't think they really need it. I think they should just fuck the reshoots. Just put it out.
I mean, because Warlock is kind of like a goofy character anyway. He's kind of like their mascot. He's kind of like their group.
Yeah.
He talks weird. He's an alien robot. Only one person can understand him,
Yeah, I think they wanted a more upbeat thing, and this was supposed to be a horror movie.
Yeah, so if you put Warlock in there, that's definitely what they're saying. I think the director, whoever the director is, I think he posted on Instagram about Warlock's going to be in too. So, whatever. Okay. We talk about New Mutants way longer than X-Men even cares about this shit. Let's move on to the next part of the podcast. Let's get a beat. Let's get back into it. Okay, so for those that haven't listened to the podcast, what we do now is we talk about the box office numbers, and this week's going to be interesting. Eli, give it to me. What was the number one movie of the week?
Was it The Lion King again?
It was not. I'll give you a hint. You saw it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, is it the Hobbs and Shaw?
It is.
Really? Oh, well, good job.
So good job to all the bald-head Samoan muscle-bound dudes that drive fast cars and motorcycles and shit.
Mm-hmm.
So that was number one. Fast and Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. Here's the thing: I did look it up online, and in Mexico, the Fast and the Furious part is bigger than the Hobbs and Shaw's part.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I thought that was pretty interesting also. So they're selling it as a Fast and Furious, where here Hobbs and Shaw is the biggest thing, where Fast and Furious is the smallest thing, but whatever.
Well, it did pop up on the screen pretty prominently.
And so I guess they confused, they didn't know how they wanted to sell the movie, but seem to be doing okay. Number two, we have Lion King. Number three, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, another movie you saw. Eli, you're like you are Siskel and Ebert. You Siskel
I saw
Ebert.
it three. I've seen it 3 times now.
Fuck.
I really dig it.
Here's the thing: I want to see it, but I keep hearing that it might show up on Netflix.
Yeah, and I hear they're gonna fucking extend it.
You're right.
Like they did with the Hateful Eight.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They turned Hateful Eight to a fucking TV series.
Yeah, it's a mini series now.
Right.
Which I think was, and I think that's Tarantino trying to adjust with the times.
Right.
So
he sees the writings on the wall. Number 4, Spider-Man: Far From Home. Number 5, Toy Story 4. Number 6, Yesterday. Number 7, The Farewell. Don't know what the fuck that is. Who cares?
That's the Asian movie, man.
Another one?
It's the Asian movie. It's like the new. What's that other Asian movie? The rich Asian movie.
That was the name of it. Crazy Rich Asians.
Yeah, that one.
What was that Crazy Rich Asian movie called?
Well, this is the new one, the new Asian American movie.
Okay.
You know.
Poor regular Asians.
I guess, yeah.
Number 8, The Crawl. Oh, Crawl, not The Crawl, just Crawl.
Yeah. I saw that. That's cool. Check it out. Alligators eating people.
Cool. I'm saying you're seeing everything nowadays, man. I don't know how you have time. I can't make a schedule for this.
I go at night when the kids are asleep.
Okay, that makes. I need better time management. Train me in your ways.
Yeah.
All right. So what we have, number 9, Aladdin, still hanging in there. Number 10, Annabelle Comes Home. So that's another pretty good movie in there. All right. So Eli, this is what I want to know, because you saw Fast and the Furious presents Hobbs and Shaw. That's a long name.
Only because I thought you were gonna see it,
and I didn't have time to see it. That's the fucked up part about it.
Damn it!
like I want to see it, but I can't see it. So I don't care. It's a Fast and Furious movie. I think I pretty much know what's gonna happen, but just give me your review, spoiler free as much as you can do it. But if you let it slip, I won't eat your lunch for it. So whatever.
Well, what's there to spoil? Like you said, bald guys driving cars and
right.
You know, kicking ass. You know, but you know, I'm not into the Fast and Furious. You know, I haven't even seen them all. So it's not my thing, but I gotta say, I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I thought I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
When the director of Deadpool or something did this?
I don't know.
Or John Wick, one of the others.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, I think one of them did both.
Yeah, okay, so it might have been. I haven't looked it up, but I think so. Yeah, whoever the guy that did John Wick and Deadpool, one of the John Wicks and one of the Deadpools did this.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was fun. It was a lot of fun. It was action, and I liked the banter between The Rock and Statham. I thought they were funny together. You know, the whole buddy cop type of thing. They hate each other.
We haven't had a buddy cop movie in a while.
Yeah,
it's pretty much a dead genre. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And then Idris Elba as, like, you know,
Black Superman.
I mean, he was cool and shit. He was like the Terminator, you know, Black Terminator. You know, it's just a lot of car chases and fights, and you know, I mean, it is a Fast and the Furious type of movie, though. You know, every time they go somewhere, you know, another city, you know, the cityscape, the helicopter shot over the city with the shitty rap music, shitty commercial rap song playing, you know, that's
okay. So it is a Fast and the Furious movie. I mean, it still has the same aesthetic to it. So.
Yeah, you know. So I mean, the theater that I was in was pretty packed, and everyone was laughing and shit, and they seemed to be having a good time, and you know. So yeah, I mean, I think if you're a fan of Fast and the Furious, you'll probably dig it. That's all I got to say.
Like I said, I've seen all the movies. I've seen the movies actually, like all of them, like multiple times. Like I said,
aren't you into the lore?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lore mythology to it. You know, I know the characters. I even watched the movie a couple times. Like, oh, okay, this guy's gonna be important in this movie, and this guy's gonna do that thing. I even got to the point that I recognize which cars they drive, and the cars they drive accentuate their personalities. Like, seriously.
Yeah, so I don't know if there's Easter eggs in the movie. I wouldn't have caught them. But, you know, who knows? There might be a bunch of Easter eggs and shit.
I mean, it's getting to the point because these movies are, like, people haven't really figured out how far Fast and the Furious is going to get. They still just watch the first movie, kind of drop the franchise and think about it. They're basically spy superhero movies now. That's what they are. They're James Bond movies with muscle-bound dudes in them now.
Yeah.
You know, they're no longer car movies.
Yeah, and I got to say, I mean, it's refreshing to see a diverse cast of characters, you know, and I think that's the appeal. I think that's why Fast and Furious, Fast and Furious are so successful, is because the diversity, people of color.
It's just like we talked about. Remember, we talked about Jason Momoa is racially ambiguous. Vin Diesel and The Rock are the same way. They're racially ambiguous, so they're huge in overseas because people don't know what the fuck they are.
Yeah, And yeah, they actually tap into The Rock's indigenous background. You know, he is from Samoa, and they actually tap into that into this movie. You get to go to the roots. The Rock's, what's his name? Is he Hobbs or is he Shaw? I can't remember who's who, but
neither can they.
Yeah, the Rock's, his character. You go back to his native indigenous Samoan roots, which I was like, oh, that's what made it for me. That's where I'm like, oh, okay.
Okay, so it's kind of like a twist in G.I. Joe Resurgence or whatever the fuck that movie was, where he went to the hood.
Yeah.
Okay. So that was on his dad's side, and this is on his mom's side. Okay.
He basically goes back to the res.
Okay.
You know, and hey, it's, you know, it might not be indigenous to the mainland here, but they are indigenous people. You know, they're the fashionable indigenous people.
Right.
They're the hot indigenous people.
Right. Like, which one is Jason Momoa? Okay, that one.
I was expecting him to show up. I was like, hey, where's Jason
He tried
Momoa?
to get him. He tried to get him. He couldn't do it because of Aquaman.
Oh, and then what's his name? That wrestler is in this too. He didn't say nothing.
Roman
Reigns. Yeah,
Yeah.
he's in that. He's in it. So yeah, I mean, that was a little refreshing to see. You know, they rep indigenous culture. You know, so
I mean, aren't they related? Like him and Roman? I think.
I have no idea.
I don't know. Maybe.
But what if I saw my brother, Fat T from Geek Savs.
Okay. Maybe he would know. If he's into wrestling, maybe he would know. I don't know.
He goes, yeah, it's the red man and the white man teaming up to beat the black man. That was his take on the movie.
Okay, I mean, you know what? That's because some people, because you got to understand, we claim The Rock. You claim The Rock. It's like Rock is both of our cousins.
I was like, the red man, I was like, The Rock's like half black. But
yeah,
yeah,
but that's the thing. Like, but that's the thing. That's the thing. Everybody can claim The Rock. I can claim The Rock. You can claim The Rock. You know.
I was like, I thought he's half black and half Hawaiian.
Right. He said that's why he cuts his hair, because if he grows his hair, he's gonna grow an afro.
Yeah, and then my brother was like, well, Hawaiians are natives. I'm like, well, that's true. Okay, okay, sure, we'll claim The Rock then. Fuck it.
Everybody claims The Rock. That's the thing. So yeah, so you have The Rock in this movie, and that's what people. Somebody. I heard somebody online say that Hobbs and Shaw is the Luke Cage and Iron Fist movie we never got.
Yeah, I could see that.
I can kind of see that, because that's all Luke Cage and Iron Fist was anyway. It was also a buddy cop comic, really. So
yeah, they were just buddies. Yeah, they're friends. Yeah. So, and like I said, their banter was fun. They actually made me laugh. Like the dialogue, it was funny. Because some of them, I've seen a couple of these Fast and Furious movies, and some of them they try to be, and I just, that's dumb. You know, Ludacris and Tyrese, whatever.
They try a little too hard, yeah.
Yeah, like, okay, this is a little too handy for me. You know, a little bit on the corny side.
Yeah. And I almost feel like they're trying to force to give them screen time, because there's so many characters. They got to give them screen time, but they don't know what to do with them. So
yeah, and like, but that they try to do that in this. Well, they do that in this movie, but it was actually landed. I mean,
because The Rock and Jason Statham are better at it than they are, than Ludacris and Tyrese.
Yeah, even though Jason Statham can't act for shit.
Jason Statham can act like Jason Statham. I mean, you know what you're getting when you pay for him.
And that's probably why it worked, because majority of this movie takes place in London.
Yeah. So he didn't have to do a funny accent or anything like that. He just play himself. So
just the Cockney, the Cockney British, thug, from the.
Okay, let me ask you this. I do want to know one spoiler. One spoiler. Did anybody bring up the fact that Jason Statham killed one of the Fast and Furious members in the last movie?
Oh, I don't know. No, I don't know.
They just brushed it under the table. Okay.
No, I mean, they might have addressed it. They do go back. They do argue over shit that happens in the past, it seems like.
Okay.
But I wouldn't have caught it. I wouldn't have known.
It's really weird. That's the thing that kind of like that. Out of all the crazy shit that happened in all of these movies, that's the thing that may break the camel's back. The fact that Jason Statham killed one of their guys, like murdered him. And then the whole plot of the 7th movie was, okay, we're all going to team together and we're going to kill Jason Statham. And in the next movie, he joins the team. Like, what the fuck? Like, he's eating dinner with him and barbecue with him and everything. Like, he killed one of your guys. But whatever.
Well, there is that tension at first. They're reluctant to work with each other at first. And that's like pretty much what makes the arc of the story was them two sort of, bickering, and it just added to the comedy,
But you bicker like, hey, remember that time you killed one of my buddies?
I don't
know.
think that part came off.
Okay, that's.
But whatever.
Yeah.
I don't know about like Idris Elba's character. I don't know if he was ever in any of them.
He's never been in any of them. They've never fought a dude with superpowers, something like that.
Okay,
so he's a new thing.
But he's obviously part of their past or whatever. They did know him in the past.
Retcon.
So
it's comic book podcast, so you should already understand retcon. We don't have to explain this stuff. So
yeah.
So yeah, but I mean,
Yeah,
basically he's Black Winter Soldier, whatever. So
yeah, if you like, and that's another thing. Yeah, it was very Winter Soldier-esque too. He's a secret government experiment, super soldier. But yeah, if you're into the Fantastic Four, Fast and the Furious.
At this point, what's the difference?
Yeah, if you're into that shit, you'll probably dig this.
Cool. All right. Well, I recommend. All right, give it a rating. Yeah, this is your first Fast and Furious review.
4 out of 5.
Good review. Okay, that's pretty much the level of what I've been seeing online. So yeah.
Yeah, I saw one of them in. I've actually seen. I've seen a couple in the theater, not by intention, because other people dragged me to it. But I did see one in the drive-in that I thought was pretty cool. That was the one where they were in Brazil and they were dragging that big giant vault or whatever.
Right, that was 5. That was Fast 5.
Yeah,
that was the one where Rock first came in it.
Yeah, and I enjoyed that for what it was, So I saw the one with Ronda Rousey.
That was 7.
Yeah, and that was all right, Yeah. So,
that was the one where Paul Walker, they had a CGI his brother in it. So.
Yeah. The ending of that one, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah.
Yeah, the one where everybody cried, like everybody in the theater was crying to Wiz Khalifa. He went one way and Vin Diesel went the other way. So.
Yeah. But this was this. I didn't think I enjoyed it as much as I did. So,
okay.
So that's
cool.
saying something.
Okay, so I got to go see the movie, see what Black Superman does. Cause I'm already seeing who would win in a fight: Idris Elba versus Black Panther or Winter Soldier, some shit. So I got to see so I can, put my thoughts together on the death match. So whatever. So I mean, I've seen all of them, so I'm gonna see this one too. I almost just came close to like buying the whole thing like I had with the MCU. So I don't know. I might do that. Let's move past that. Let's talk about this. Hit some quick stuff real quick. DC, they did announce that Crisis Infinite Earths is going to be even bigger than what we thought it was going to be. They're saying Linda Carter's going to be in it. Oh. The original OG Wonder Woman. And then they just announced that Kevin Conroy is going to be in it as Bruce Wayne. So I'm like, okay. So it sounds like he's going to be Batman Beyond in there. I mean, like he's going to be the Bruce Wayne from Batman Beyond. So I don't know if they're going to have Terry McGinnis in there. Yeah, it's going to go like a Batman Beyond type feeling, whatever. But I was like, that sounds pretty cool. Yeah, I mean, Kevin Conroy's been doing it so long. Why not? I hope he does the Batman Beyond voice, because he did a Batman. His voice in that show was different than he did other Bruce Wayne. So I hope he does that exact same voice. When you close your eyes, you can hear it. So yeah, good job for Kevin Conroy. Shoot, what else we got?
Your video game shit.
We gotta jump right into the video game. Fuck it, let's just jump right into it. Seems like we got a lot to do with the
I got nothing to contribute to it. So
okay, so yeah, because I actually got a lot of stuff to talk about the video game. So let me just jump into it. So this part of the video game section, we're just gonna jump into it early as possible because I'm probably gonna go for a very long time on it because there's a lot of stuff to unpack. And yes, this week or as of right now is the EVO tournament. The EVO tournament just went on. It was in Mandalay Bay in Las Vegas. Bunch of tournaments going on. I'm not gonna name all the games that went on. Like you had Street Fighter, you had Tekken, you had Smash Brothers, and all the stuff like that. I'm gonna break down what I think about them. Street Fighter was a pretty one. That's the one that if I was in a tournament, that's the one I would jump into. Did pretty good. They released 3 new characters for downloadable content for DLC. The last of the original Street Fighter 2 characters is going to be released. E Honda. So he was the only character that hadn't been in this new game yet. So he's going to be back now. So all of the old characters are in the game now. So you can play as all of them now. Who else we got? Lucia. Lucia was from Final Fight 3. I think Final Fight 3 or 2. I don't know. I stopped playing after the first one. Oh, and the fan favorite or even the controversial one, Poison. Okay, so Eli, do you know Poison story?
From Street Fighter?
Yeah.
No.
Damn. Okay. Let me break down Poison because Poison is actually pretty interesting. Poison is actually originally from Final Fight. Have you ever played Final Fight, the old game?
Way back in the day.
Okay, remember.
But I don't remember. I wouldn't remember too much of it.
Do you at least remember beating up on some women in the game? Like
Probably,
some women
yeah.
attacking the game and you just fighting them or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe not. Okay, anyway. That's Poison. But here's the interesting part of Poison. So you were beating up women in that game, and that's how it was in the original Japanese version. But when the game came over to the United States, they told them that you can't have the guys beating up on women. So the developers in Japan told them, okay, we'll tell you what, they're men, but you didn't change them. So they dressed up as women. They're men. You're beating up as men. You're not fighting women. So like, wait, what? So yes, so Poison is the
Kabuki
first.
Theater.
Yeah, this is back in the 80s. Remember this now. So people couldn't wrap their mind around this stuff like men dressed as women beating the shit out of each other. And so they continued the transition. So when they brought Poison back in the Street Fighter lore, the new the guy was running. He like, yeah, they actually like. So is Poison a woman like she was in the original Japanese version, or is she a man dressed as a woman like she is in the American version? Like, yeah, she's a man. Yeah, she's just dressed up there. Like, but what about she tucks it in. Don't worry about it. Like, okay. And so Poison is the first LGBT fighter in Street Fighter. However, Poison is not the first LGBT character in video games. I'm gonna give you some history on that since this is everybody gather around. So the very first LGBT video game character was actually in the original Super Mario Brothers.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say Metroid.
She wasn't gay.
Well, I mean,
she might have been, but
I mean, we all thought it was a dude.
We all thought it was a. I mean, see, that's where we started getting that drawn line. Like, was she cross-dressing or was she, But I'm gonna give her the benefit of the doubt because we did think it was a dude. She took the mask off. She was like, "Wait, what? We played as a woman the whole time? Oh my goodness, mind blown." And so, no, actually, not the first LGBT, not Super Mario Brothers 1, Super Mario Brothers 2, and the character name was Birdo. So it was this bird girl dinosaur that Mario had to fight in the game. But if you actually read the inside notes, they said that Birdo wasn't a girl. Birdo was a boy that thought he was a girl. So you could say that was the first LGBT character. So it was a gay dinosaur back then. Oh, and some people think that Yoshi is a woman also. So.
Oh, no shit.
Yeah, so that's a little bit of history about that. What was I talking about? Oh yeah, Street Fighter.
Did you hear about remember the first Arkham game?
Mm-hmm.
And how Harley Quinn, I guess the mocap for Harley Quinn was a dude?
No, I did not know that.
Yeah. So yeah, if you're like checking out Harley Quinn sashaying her ass in that game, that's a dude on the mocap.
Oh shit. Damn,
Yeah.
so I just feel like I was in the crying game now.
Hey, a man knows what a man needs.
My whole world is shattered. And plus you shattered some other folks' worlds also. So I did not know that. What else we got? Oh, Tekken. Tekken is also. Oh, and then another thing that kind of hurt my heart is that the last couple years, Street Fighter's always been the #1 game at Evo. This year, it was not. It was beaten by actually a few games, and one of those games was Tekken. And I'm not even mad, Eli, because this year Tekken was actually pretty awesome. They've done a lot of stuff to the game. And I was thinking, like, maybe I should get into it. But something happened that made me feel like I have to come out of retirement. I have to get back to Tekken.
Oh, yeah?
Very important. And I found this out today. And as a matter of fact, I sent you a link. I know you didn't click it, so I'm going to tell you what it was. So they released some new characters also, some vampire chick, whatever like that. But it was one character that's really interesting. Okay, remember Ip Man? Am I saying it right? Ip Man?
Oh, from Donnie Yen or whatever?
That guy. He's not in the game. But
he's not in
you're right. But they have a guy now that has that same fighting style, that Wing Chun fighting style.
I thought wasn't that Lei Wulong?
Oh, he's like Drunken Monkey Uncle.
Well, he had some. That was one of his styles.
That
but
was
he also did like
one of them. But he's not like just that style. That's it. This guy's just.
Oh, was it that little girl? Was it a Zhao Yu or whatever?
I thought. Did she do Wing Chun? I think she did. Or
she did like some of that Wing Chun or Wushu or whatever. So.
I think it was. Is that the same thing? Wushu Wing Chun.
It's all similar, yeah.
Yeah, but I think they really try to make this guy look like.
But he's in the outfit or whatever, like that, something like that.
But here's the thing: he's an old black dude with gray dreads.
Oh no shit!
So he looks like Jim Kelly, from.
I was about to say he looks like Eddie Goro or whatever.
No, but he's got like a beard, dreads. He wears shades. He's got like a thick gold chain.
Oh,
But
remember when one of the skins on Eddie Goro was like a big afro where he did look like Jim
Right,
Kelly.
and I think his name was Disco Jones. I think that was his name.
Or something, yeah.
Yeah, he was cheap because his platform shoes actually were longer, so he had more reach with his shoes than his feet. So he actually cheated when you played as him.
Oh shit.
That's how much I played as Tekken. I knew frame data and hitboxes and shit. So yeah, but this new dude is an old black dude with shades and a thick gold chain, wearing the Wing Chun Ip Man outfit. And Eli, guess what his name is? You don't know his name. I'm gonna tell you.
Okay.
Leroy Smith.
Oh really?
Yeah, that's his name. So I was like, what the fuck? Okay, well, I got to come out of retirement and play that. So, yeah, I'm dusting off the skills. Whenever this guy comes on, I'm going to be back on Tekken. You will see what I can do with this guy.
Was it Leroy Green from Last
Leroy
Dragon?
Green from The Last Dragon. Okay, we've
Yeah.
never talked about The Last Dragon on this show, and there's a reason why, because I banned it. It's in the Will Smith pile.
Oh, is it? Oh, man.
But I'll talk about it just for this one time. I'll pull it out there. So, I hate that fucking movie.
Really?
I hate that book because I got teased about it every day at school about it.
Oh.
Anytime it show up on HBO, somebody will come to Leroy. They start quoting the movie to me. Who's the master? And all this shit.
Yeah,
And I was
yeah.
I got sick of it. This shit's getting on my damn
Hey, that's a
nerves.
lot cooler than Three Dog Night, what motherfuckers would say to me.
Come
You know,
on, man. You
Eli.
named after Denzel Washington movie, Book of Eli.
Nobody knew that shit back when I was in school. It was like they always mispronounced my name. Ellie, Ely, Elias. Like, what the fuck, man?
I guess. But the movie was so
I
cheesy.
take a show enough quote over fucking Three Dog Night.
I guess, but if you hear it enough times, you're like, okay, man, I get it. So
Yeah.
anytime the movie comes on, I'm like, man, fuck that movie, man.
Yeah, the Eli's coming. You ever hear that song? Like, nah, man.
So yeah, shout out to Leroy Smith. Matter of fact, gonna put him on the banner. I think I will put him on the banner. We'll figure it out. And Eli. Okay, so we saw Street Fighter, saw Tekken. Those are my games. Saw some other bullshit also. But here's what I started realizing, that I'm an old man now. Because none of these games were the headliners now. The headliner of Evo this year, by a wide margin, was Smash Brothers.
Yeah, you were telling me about that.
I didn't know how big the game was. When I was watching Evo, when I was watching like Street Fighter and Tekken, like you saw like the seats were kind of like sparse in between, like you could see empty seats and stuff like that. Like, yeah, that's cool. Smash Brothers came on, they turned the lights off. They had strobe lights going everywhere. The seats were packed. The crowd was going.
It's
And
the
I'm
ending
like,
of The Wizard.
yeah, exactly. I love the Power Glove. It's so bad. Like, what the fuck, man? And then they start bringing out the contestants. I'm like, oh man, Eli, nothing but a bunch of like 12 and 15-year-olds coming out and shit. I'm like, what the fuck, man?
Well, like at my comic store, they have gaming night and shit, and they have like Super Smash Bros. Tournaments and shit at my comic store.
Yeah.
They'll have like Halo and sometimes Mortal Kombat, but I guess the Super Smash Brothers shit that's a big night.
I think Smash Brothers had a bigger Twitch following, like a Twitch viewing, than both Street Fighter and Tekken combined. Like, it was huge. When I looked at the numbers, it was like 250,000 people watching it live at one time. I'm like, okay, these numbers are nuts. For Smash Brothers. For the longest time, like 3 years ago or even before that, they didn't even want Smash Brothers in the game. They were like, you can't have Smash Brothers in there because there's some kiddie shit. You're going to bring those kids in here. We don't want their ass there, But the game got such a big following, they had no choice but to bring it in there because it was bringing in so many sponsors, bringing in so many people, bringing in so many tournaments. It's like, fuck. Now you got all these little kids running around here. They don't bathe in shit. They had to ban players that have hygiene problems. Like, that's a real thing.
Oh, really?
That's a real thing for Smash Brothers. They were like, if you stink, you can't play. So like this is what the fuck, man. So yeah, so now you got all these kids and players.
I can't fucking shower, man. I gotta practice.
Like what the fuck? So yeah, this shit, and I gave it the benefit of the doubt. Eli, I don't want to be the old curmudgeon, get off my lawn type dude. So I sat there and try to watch the game. I can't watch this bullshit, man. It looks like it's like some kiddie shit. It looks like it didn't look like it has anything to it. It just looked like a big party game. You just smash some buttons and stuff like that. Like, I can't take you seriously. I can't take you 12 and 13-year-olds seriously, man. Pick up a real fucking fighting game. The shit we used to play. Like shit, man. Virtual Fighter didn't die for this.
Shut up, boomer.
So I know, man, I'm old because I'm like, this is the shit that's taking over.
Your
I'm like,
old dad games and shit.
that's what they think now. This is basically like Street Fighter taking those dad games now.
Yeah.
I want to play that shit. Like, fuck it. So yeah, because when you watch Street Fighter and Tekken, that's the funny thing. Like Street Fighter, nothing but like 40-year-olds playing that shit. But Tekken is weird. Tekken is a very weird game because the people playing the game, you had two very different groups playing that game, and there was no in between. So one group was the old fat white dude, the pimply face with the thick beard. You've seen that guy.
Okay, yeah.
Him versus the thug ass black dude from the South with an afro and gold teeth and tattoos. And there's no in between with the guy, and maybe like a Korean guy, something like that. But there's no in between with this. Like, this is the fan base. Like, it's either this or that. Like, okay. And so pretty interesting though. But yeah, that's Evo. Not my Evo. That may be the title of this. I don't know. Because Smash Bros is fucking taking over. And yeah, that gay furry. I'm not. It's not an insult. That's his name on Twitter. Sonic Fox. He got beat this year, so he's not like the number one guy anymore. Because that's how fast these fighting game tournaments take over. So yeah, that's all I got. I was gonna talk about some other shit in video games, but I don't really want to because that Smash Brothers shit depressed me. So because it made me feel old. So let's just jump into the comic book section.
Oh, we ain't gonna talk about The Boys?
Oh shit. We are gonna talk about The Boys because it's right there. Yeah, let's talk
It's
about
on
The
the
Boys.
banner.
That's what I was like. I knew it was something I was missing. I'm like, it's something I missed. Let's talk about The Boys real quick. Okay, so I got a chance to see all of The Boys. How many episodes did you get into with the Eli?
I'm about halfway through.
Halfway through. So let's say episode 4, 3, something like that, whatever like that.
Yeah.
So it's an interesting show. I don't know if I can recommend it to everybody because the show is so out there. It's not like a show I can be like, oh, I'm not like the Game of Thrones fans that they force you to watch this shit. Otherwise, you'll be ostrated from social media, some shit like that. You must watch The Boys. I'm just like, if you like it, cool. If you don't like it, I can't recommend everybody because I think the show might piss some people off with stuff they're doing on there. I'll put it like this for those that haven't watched The Boys. If you can make it through the first episode, no, I won't even say that. You can make it through, what would you say, like the first 20 minutes of the first episode?
Yeah.
First 20 minutes, give it the first 20 minutes. If you can make it past that, you will like the show. If the first 20 minutes, you're just like, fuck this shit, I can't watch it. Don't watch the rest of it. It might be too much for you. And the funny thing about it, like I said, now I know we're a comic book podcast, and we should know everything about the graphic novel backwards and forward, and we should know what year it came out, and what symbolism, what era this made, and how many books it made, and how many spin-offs it made, and all this shit like that. We're not comic cast. Sorry.
Yeah.
We don't do our homework. I did go back and retroactively read a few books and kind of know where we're going and stuff like that, but that's about it. I read maybe the first 10 issues just to get a kind of feel from how different it is from the TV show, just to kind of get a feel for it. And honestly, Eli, what I've noticed, as fucked up as the show is, the book is way more fucked up.
Yeah, they kind of dial it way down.
Which that shocked the hell out of me. I was like, okay, I didn't realize that. But here's the thing. I think the comic, but I think that's the difference between the mediums itself. I think the comic, Garth Ennis, like I said, he wrote the book. I think he was trying to intentionally go out of his way for shock value. Yeah,
I think the book is. I think the book is a little bit too gratuitous.
Yeah.
As far as the sex and the violence. Not that I'm not I don't like blood and boobs. You know, I
It's
love
like
that shit.
every
but-
other page, some wild
But
shit
yeah, I
happens.
mean, when it starts to get in the way of the story, I think, okay, it's a little bit too much. Can we just get on with the shit? Because I got about 1,000 other books I need to read this week. You know,
Right.
so get on with the story. And I think he pushes it just to push it, and I think it was at the time too, because I didn't realize how old this book was, like
And that's the
2006.
thing. When you read the book, you know when it came out. It feels dated.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah,
I was like,
it's
oh,
like-
this is around the time when Eminem was popular.
yeah, and I didn't realize how long it went on for.
Mhm.
Because I read the first omnibus and I found out that there's like 2 more omnibuses. I'm like,
Oh,
holy
there's like
shit.
spin-off books and everything. Like every
Yeah.
character has their own spin-off series.
Yeah, I'm like, holy shit, I didn't know it went that deep.
Yeah. Because I remember
And I-
people talking about The Boys all the time. Oh, you got to read The Boys. You got to read The Boys. The Boys is the best thing ever. And I was like, whatever. So.
Yeah,
And even then, reading it now, honestly, if I read it back then, I don't think I probably would have liked it because I did feel like it was a little bit too gratuitous, just to the point of being gratuitous.
mm-hmm.
The shock value was cool, and Garth Ennis was trying to say something with it too, but I think it overshadowed it because he was going way too far with the shit he was trying to do. Where I think the movie, the TV show, I think they hit the high points. The most gratuitous shit in the book they did bring to screen, even though they toned the shit down. But some things had to be changed. Like for instance, the comic book took a lot of comic book tropes that I don't think would carry over to the TV show. The TV show, on the other hand, is more of a analog to not just superheroes, but like to the superhero movies, like the franchise, like the MCU, basically.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
even the DCEU also. Matter of fact, I think they even said they tried to mimic the style of DCEU.
Yeah. I mean, there's a definite satire as far as they're making a statement on comic book movies.
Yeah.
And the marketing, especially with the corporation and how they're marketing superheroes. And
Right, how they're running everything, and the actors may get in trouble. I mean, I'm not even gonna say actors, but like the people might get in trouble and they try to cover it up and stuff like that. This stuff happens all the time,
Yeah, and we're seeing that in the MCU. I mean,
We're
you
seeing
see that.
James Gunn.
James Gunn.
and try to cover this shit up as much as possible.
I mean,
because
no one-
they're supposed to represent this higher ideal,
Yeah.
but they're just regular people.
Yeah.
We didn't even talk about Chris Pratt.
Or him or
Remember
Josh Brolin.
Or Josh Brolin. They covered Robert Downey Jr.
Oh yeah, he was a junkie fucking
We
scumbag.
forget about all this shit, right? They cover all this shit up. Just ignore all this shit,
No, they spun it as a redemption story. Yeah, he was a junkie who became Iron Man, and we think he's
Exactly.
Iron Man for real.
They spun it how they wanted to. Now he's popular with children, stuff like that. It's the same way with the boys, what they were doing, and they not just with the MCU. With athletes and entertainers. How that A-Train got stuck on, what was that thing called?
With the
Compound
drugs?
V.
Yeah, the drugs. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the thing, that drug, and the drug is different too. Even though I know we're talking about like the main thing what happens to the story. Compound V is different in the book also because Compound V is like this big plot line in the TV show where they're trying to uncover this big secret of how they get their power. Where in the comic books completely different. They use Compound V just whenever they feel like it. Like even the boys use it.
Like the boys actually, the crew, they actually take it to help them fight the soups.
Right. So just in case of some weird shit happens from there. So that's pretty interesting there. And it's like I said, it's different just depending on the medium or whatever you want to call it, because they can't use like heavy comic book tropes on a TV show because the audience that don't read comic books won't get it.
Yeah.
So that's
I think they're taking the strongest points of the comic and just, adapting it to the show. Because that's what I've noticed. I mean, I've read the first omnibus, and hardly anything is in the show that I've seen so far.
Right.
And like I said, I'm only halfway through the series, but
Yeah, 'cause it felt like the TV show was more streamlined. Like it just got to the point. Yeah.
There's a lot more case like the Tech Knight. I don't know if you read the Tech Knight arc, which is hilarious.
Yeah, honestly, the Tech Knight arcs are like, okay, I'm done. That's why I'm like, okay, this shit is going too far.
I was laughing my ass off. Like, oh, Leroy's gonna love this shit.
I read this shit. I was like, what the fuck? But it's the shit I was thinking the whole time, though.
I was like, this is like what Leroy thinks of Batman. and
And so I
But,
was like, yeah, okay, this
yeah, but there's like I haven't seen any of that mentioned in the show yet.
and they
any of
might
that
save
arc.
that for season 2 or something like that,
Yeah.
or they might leave out like those Teen Titan dudes they were going to be in.
Oh,
Like they
yeah,
left all
those
that shit out.
teenage-
They
the
did
teenage-
mention them. They mentioned that team, but they didn't like show them all the crazy shit they did.
Yeah, they were doing some gratuitous sex and violence as well in the book.
They're like, what the fuck is going on here? So.
Yeah.
But that's the show they have going on. So, and the thing I was saying about the DCEU, how they because here's the thing, Seth Rogen is one of the showrunners on the show.
Yeah,
Because basically the same team that did Preacher is doing this,
yeah,
but they're trying to out Preacher, basically.
and that's what Garth Ennis was trying to do as well.
Right. Because everybody was saying how Preacher is so shocking. Like, let me do something that can't be done anywhere. And he was trying to top himself. And I think he got to the point where it's so gratuitous that it does kind of overshadow the story, because I think the story is actually pretty good, but you can't with so much wild shit going on. It gets overshadowed. It's kind of like a porno with a good story. You don't watch it for the story.
Yeah.
Like if you were watching Lord of the Rings and everybody was butt naked.
Well, that's Game of Thrones, yeah.
Basically.
Yeah.
So
I must say the show. I mean, it does make a lot of interesting points and comments on the superhero genre, and and just social commentary as well.
Yeah,
and
not just
on
the superhero genre, on the business of the superhero genre.
Yeah,
entertainment, movies in general. So
and just and you can make those political parallels to our modern day society as well.
Can I say it? I'm almost scared to say it.
Okay.
Homelander is Trump.
Yeah.
With superpowers.
Yeah.
Like he was full. I mean, and I'm not saying that I think the show went out of its way to make that connection, because there was one point where he was like fear mongering to this conservative crowd.
Or like a cop, and they're like cops or whatever, like corrupt cops, and there's definitely all that there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but I gotta say, that episode with the plane.
That was a fucked up episode.
That was fucked up. I mean, that might have upset me. I'm like, this is fucked up. I mean, and I think what it is they turned the superhero trope totally on its head. Especially nowadays, the days of the height of the MCU and what we know as superhero movies and comic book heroes. To do that type of scene I thought was quite ballsy. That took guts.
Yeah.
That was a very bold decision and I don't know if that shows up in the comic at all, because I haven't read that.
It actually does. It actually does.
Oh, okay.
I'll even tell you this. Okay, remember at the beginning of the comic where they show the Washington Bridge gone out?
Oh, yeah.
That has something to do with that plane. So it is, but they changed it up a little bit in there.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying how that scene played out, where this is basically Superman and Wonder Woman, essentially.
Yeah.
And they're saying, fuck this. They're fucking
right, because they want to maintain their image, because if they save some of them, they can't have a mark on their record. Somebody would just kill everybody and just blame it on somebody else.
Yeah, and the way they played that scene out, and everyone begging for their lives, and the little girl, and all that shit. And for these heroes to just say, fuck this.
Like, not even try to save everybody.
Yeah, that was quite, disturbing in a way. At least how I saw it, like, this is fucked up. You know what I mean? So it just shattered our ideals of superhero trope, which I thought, I found disturbing and upsetting, but I still think that's an awesome choice to do. I was like, holy fuck, these motherfuckers mean business,
Yeah, because they have to maintain the image.
Yeah.
More than anything else. So as long as they keep the light. Oh, another thing that got kind of fucked up to it. You on episode 4, so I don't know how far you made it. Okay, let's talk about Starlight for a second. Let's talk about that scene with Starlight for a second. I'm not going to get in detail about it, because just in case people haven't seen it.
Talking about episode 1?
Uh-huh. Yep.
Yeah.
That's not what I want to talk about in there. If anybody hasn't seen the show, watch it. You're going to be like, all I want to let you know is that the book has the scene. It's way more fucked up.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
But here's the thing. In the book, she doesn't say anything. She doesn't out them to the public. But in this world, and that's what the showrunner said. The showrunner said after that happened, if in the Me Too era, if she doesn't do that, they were gonna get hate mail. So she had to do it in the show.
Mm-hmm.
And so they were like, because they were like, oh, she didn't come out, she didn't come forward, stuff like that. So that's why they made her come forward public and say everything that happened in there. Because basically you can say like, okay, this book was written in 2006, and you can tell the book was written in 2006. This show was made in 2019, and you can tell this show was made in 2019.
Yeah.
So it's all, with the time. So it's I just found that interesting also how times have changed what they did with the book. Oh, Simon Pegg also. Simon Pegg is basically based. The original dude in the book, was it Huey? Huey, whatever like that, the main guy. Is me or the guy in the show look like Michael Shannon on crack? I don't know. That's just what I was thinking the whole time,
But are you saying that Huey in the book looks like Simon Pegg?
Yes, that's what I meant to say.
Yeah,
Thank you for getting me back on point. Okay.
Yeah.
He looks like Simon Pegg, but Simon Pegg is here basically because it took so long for it to get adapted. Simon Pegg is aged out of the role, but he's still playing that. Basically like Donald Glover in Spider-Man. You know how he's playing the uncle now instead of being cast for Miles because he aged out of the role now. So.
Oh, speaking of Spider-Man.
Mm-hmm.
I watched Into the I watched Into the Spider-Verse all the damn time. My kids do it now.
Okay.
And when Miles goes to his uncle's house,
I know what you're about to say.
Yeah, he's watching that episode of Community.
When when Troy is wearing Spider-Man pajamas.
Yep. Yeah. I just noticed that the other day.
Mm-hmm. That was actually when he did that on the show. That was actually a big thing. Like it was like if you didn't know the whole story behind it, it was just like he just was wearing Spider-Man pajamas. But that thing took off online. It was like because he knew that he wore that. That was basically like that was going to cause controversy about he's trying to be Spider-Man and trying to put his hat in the ring to be take Andrew Garfield's spot or whoever's doing it. So yeah, that was pretty interesting. I need to watch Into the Spider-Verse again also just because it's an awesome movie.
It's on Netflix.
It's on Netflix. We told you, go watch it. Oh, and go watch The Boys also, if you can make it past the first 20 minutes.
Yeah.
So, overall, awesome show. I don't know how much of the comic I'm going to read because, honestly, it's like the more I read, the more out there it's getting.
Yeah. And it gets a little difficult to, just to those Cockney accents.
That's the thing, because Garth Ennis, so he likes to throw it in a lot. Frenchie speaks French in the book.
Yeah, I can take one character, but when you got Butcher and Huey going back and forth,
and they're using different accents. Huey is Scottish in the book, So it's like it does get confusing, especially he's used and he just uses it like it's nothing,
Yeah. Oh, governor, I'll put you a lot of me. Yeah, piss off, you cunt. Yeah,
like he called him a poof. I'm like, what the fuck is a poof? Should I be offended?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Fuck off as well, you cunt.
Yeah. Okay. So can we actually get to the comic books now?
Sure.
Okay. So let's go ahead and start up this comic book bullet. We're talking about comic book podcast. We're going to talk about the number one book of the week. Let's get right into it. Now, this is an X-Men book, and I forced Eli with the gun to his head to read some X-Men books this week, and he actually did it. So
I did back to back.
Back to back. I'm proud of you.
I bought House of X, which came out last week. Mm-hmm. And then I picked up Powers of X.
I gotta correct you. It's Powers of 10.
Oh shit! Shit. Well, these two. Hey, you know how much I blew on books this week? This is fucking expensive.
That's what I was hoping you just because I was like, I'm broke right now.
I bought, House of X came out last week, but I bought it this week, and along with Powers of X or 10, whatever the fuck. Plus, I got the Last Night on Earth, Batman Who Laughs, all that was over $20 just for those books. And then I got the rest of my pull list, so I blew a lot of money this week on
just on comics. We're single-handedly keeping the industry afloat.
Yeah.
All right, so let's break this bad boy down. Let's jump into it. Okay, so like I said, Powers of 10, according to Jonathan Tickman, like House of X and Powers of 10. This is part 2 of the story. Because
why is that?
I don't know. I don't even know why he did that. He just being an asshole just for no reason. Okay, so let's jump into it. So basically, the story it's a 4-part breakdown of the story, and I think reason because they showed like year 0 is when Professor X is starting, getting the inkling idea of starting the X-Men. Year 10 is the present era where we're in right now, where he's trying to take over the world with all the mutants growing and all the shit like that.
So are the no, fuck it, just go. But that's Professor X in the fucking. He looks like the maker.
Helmet, yeah.
He kind of looks like the maker or whatever. Because I got confused in the first book.
Right. Everybody thinks he's the maker. I don't think he's the maker. I don't think Jonathan Hickman is that sloppy of a writer. I do think he may be something else, but now
that is Xavier in that helmet.
That's Xavier. Yeah.
Okay. Good to know.
Okay. So we got Xavier with the helmet on 10 years. So the year 10, that's where we're right now. So basically they're saying the X-Men have been around for 10 years, according to Hickman. Then they jump, 100 years later? I got confused. I think 100 years later.
I got the book in front of me. I'm going through it panel by panel.
Okay, I'm going by memory. Okay, so you got 100 years later where they show where basically the Sentinels have taken over the world, and the Sentinels and the mutants are in war with each other. Where are the humans? Who fucking knows? They never say anything about it. And then they jump, 1,000 years later?
Year 1000, the Ascension. Yes.
The Ascension, where they show some blue hair, blue skin, girl or boy. I can't really tell the difference. It's year 3000.
Don't assume genders, bro.
Genders are gone, so it doesn't matter what what it is. So yeah, basically going by piece. The year 0, Xavier's at a carnival, having a good time. Meets a pretty girl. The girl sits on the bench with him, flirts with him back, stuff like that. Asks him what he's thinking about the fair. He's like, it's cool. And then she blurts out his name. He was like, wait, how do you know my name? Oh, we go way back, Charles. Why don't you read my mind? And reads mine, and we cut to year 10. Fuck what happened there. We're going to cut to year 10. So apparently in the last book, like I talked about, Mystique, Toad, and Sabretooth robbed Damage Control and stole some information. They all got away, but Sabretooth got caught by the Fantastic Four. But Mystique and Toad were still able to get away. So Mystique shows up, was about to hand Magneto the hard drive, but then she was like, no, before I give you the hard drive, you got to do something for me. Professor X stood up, said, fuck all that, give me the hard drive because I want it. And I guess he has telekinesis now. Does it look like he just used Cerebro to make the hard drive come to him? Which he never had that power before.
Or was it fucking Magneto do it? Oh, whatever, sure.
Whatever, I don't know. But anyway, Professor X has the hard drive, and he's basically telling Mystique, I'm gonna need you to do something else for me later on, because if you want to be in in the mutant world upcoming, you got to earn your keep. And basically it's weird because Mystique looked like she was trying to report to Magneto, and Professor's like he was establishing dominance. Even though they were in the House of M, like he was trying to establish dominance. Like, no, you don't talk to Magneto, you talk to me. I'm running shit. Give me the hard drive. You talk to me. I'll let you know when I need you and whatever like that. Magneto just in the back, just chilling, not saying shit. Like it's a weird dynamic going on right now. We're not used to this. And can I throw out some theories?
Sure.
It's a Hickman book. That's all people are doing right now. Nobody knows what the fuck is going on in these books. If they tell you they think they know what's going on, they're lying. They're full of shit. Everybody is just assuming they know.
Great. Now, I feel a whole lot fucking better now.
I'm the only one that's willing to admit that. Nobody else is going to admit that. Nobody knows what the fuck going on. But my thing is, okay, we're back at year 0, right? The pretty girl, Maria McTaggart. We can pretty much assume that's Maria McTaggart if she didn't already say her name.
She said. Yeah, she did say that.
She did say it? Okay, just making sure. So Maria McTaggart knows who Professor X is. We've seen X-Men books in the past where she didn't know who the fuck he was. So is she a time traveler? She almost would have to be.
I would assume. Well, it's X-Men, so I'm sure
that's what they do. They time travel. So she went back in time. She changed history. She had to, because the way Professor X acting right now is nothing like we've ever seen Professor X act before. Professor X is acting like Dr. Doom or some shit. He's basically trying to take over the world.
Talking about now, when he's like in Krakoa or whatever.
Right. Like it's completely different than what he was before. If this is even Professor X, we don't know. That's that. Jump to year 100. This is when shit gets confusing. So let me see if I can break this shit down. So apparently there's been this 100-year war between the mutants and the Sentinels, and the humans. We don't know what the fuck the humans are. Oh well, fuck them. Fuck us. There's 3 main X-Men that we run into. One is called Cybernel, whatever. She's got like a black brain or some shit. She's a telepath. She gets rescued by 2 other X-Men. One named Rasputin, and the other one named the Cardinal. Now the Cardinal basically looks like a red Nightcrawler. Now Rasputin is kind of weird. Rasputin has the powers of the Rasputins. Now you know who the Rasputins are. Peter Rasputin, Colossus, and I think Ilyana Rasputin. Am I saying it right, Eli?
Eliana.
I guess. Magic.
Talking about, I was about to say, talking about magic?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, so those are the Rasputins. So she seems like she has. No, actually, no. Let me get this. Let me get the notes. I got
yeah. See that? Oh, fucking Christ!
I mean, no. They actually break down. They break down her powers.
I was about to say, ain't she like got a? She's like blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like she's got a bunch of powers.
Yeah, she's got a bunch of powers. So
she's like She's like Cerebro. She's like Cyclops, and fuck, my head's hurting already. Magic. Magic. She's got like those powers,
yeah,
right?
She's got magic powers. She can turn her skin solid like Colossus. So she got
like
the armor.
Colossus,
Mm-hmm.
and she's got the sword like fucking magic, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, okay.
I got it. Okay. Hickman breaks down her powers. Okay. Because he gives a sample. Okay. Because I'm not going to get into all this shit. Basically, there's 4 generations what we see in this 100-year war. The first year was the Chimera. They for some reason the leaders of the mutant islands or the leaders of the mutant nation, it wasn't Xavier and Magneto, they said they've been killed off by then. Whoever he is now, they had Mr. Sinister breed mutants exactly how he wanted to do it. First year was cool. Second year was cool. Third year, those mutants were defective. They killed the other mutants because Mr. Sinister actually programmed them to do that, but didn't tell anybody he did that. And the 4th year is just the whatever mutants left just going around fighting people. So Rasputin, her powers are Quentin Quagmire.
Okay, go ahead.
No, not Quagmire. Quentin Quire. Okay. She has a little bit of teleportation. The Rasputins also. So she has Colossus power of, metamorphing. Bane. I don't know who the fuck Bane is. And I don't even know what the fuck is Folafol. Whatever. I don't know. Kitty Pryde. So she can phase through walls.
So she can phase then.
Yeah. But they
Where do you see this shit?
Okay, in the sample Chimera Rasputin page. Hickman breaks down her 5 powers and which powers are more powerful than the other power. So
oh, you mean like this? Oh, the DNA sample.
Yeah, the DNA sample. Yeah.
Okay, I didn't even really look at that.
Yeah. So it's actually saying which power overrides what power. So
okay,
so
I
it's
see
showing
it now.
that the
Pride, Bane. Okay, Quire.
Yeah.
I don't know who Quire is.
That's Quentin Quire. That's he's a purple-haired dumbass mutant, but he's Omega level.
Okay.
He's from Grant Morrison's era.
Okay, Rasputin would be
Colossus.
And
Magic. I'm pretty. Well,
Metam. It says Metam.
But
then
his
Bane
thing
is
you can see which one has the highest concentration. So the Rasputin gene is the highest gene she has.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why
So is she a new character? Is this?
Yeah,
or is she?
she's brand new.
Okay.
Yeah, she's never been popular before. Yeah.
Good to know.
And that's the thing about this Hickman book. Like, you don't have to know about the X-Men because Hickman is basically throwing the rule book out and just like, I'm doing my own shit. Fuck everything else. So
because that's what I heard. That's why I'm gonna say, that's why I was like, fuck it, I'll give this a whirl. I'll try to get into the X-Men again.
Yeah. So he's not redoing Days of Future Past. He's doing some other. He's basically doing the same shit he was doing in Avengers and was doing in Fantastic Four. He showed the Avengers what the world was gonna be like a million years of the future. Franklin Rich was there chilling with them, talking to Captain America, stuff like that. He did the same thing with the Fantastic Four, where they go in there. So he's doing the same thing with the X-Men, showing them all the futures and what they're going to be and stuff like that. So what else? What powers we got? We got Bane, who the fuck is? We got Kitty Pryde, intangibility. That's like the lowest concentration. No, the lowest concentration, low. So Kenny, that's Laura Kenny. That's X-23.
Oh yeah.
So
she's got a healing factor.
Yeah, so she has a healing factor, but the healing factor like the lowest
it's
end
low.
of her powers.
It's gonna be slow. So what is Fofolid?
That I don't know. I don't know what that. I don't know who Bane is. I don't know who Fofofo is, but yeah, but whatever it is, like a middle range for powers. So I know 4 of the 5 of her abilities that she can do. So anyway, she still seemed pretty cool. She gets attacked by a sentinel, chops the sentinel's hand off with one hand with the sword, you know, and then they send like a whole bunch of like, I don't know what those guys were, sentinels or humans or whatever the fuck they were. I don't know what they were. She killed all of them, even though they thought they were going to kill her like that. They took,
I thought they were sentinels.
they might have
Oh,
been.
you're talking about the little guys.
The little guys, yeah. But they might have been sentinels too.
Yeah, or just or people dressed up in, I don't know.
Whatever. She killed them all. Anyway. But Cardinal was like, you either come with me or I'm leaving you also. So Cardinal's a new person also. Whoever he is. So they jump back to Krakoa.
But one of the twins escapes, right?
No, just no, the only people that escape is Cardinal and Rasputin. The girl that they were trying to get, the girl with the black brain, she gets kidnapped.
Okay, please leave. No, and then I'm trying to think.
Yeah, because she's saying she wasn't going to leave. She was going to try to rescue the girl, but then she ends up leaving anyway and going back to Krakoa.
Oh, but it then shows Rasputin going, no, and she's being attacked by everybody.
Yeah, but they show a page later she kills everybody.
Oh, okay.
But by the time she kills them, they already took the other girl, so it doesn't matter. So she's just like, fuck it out. I'm going to leave before they send some more people after us.
Okay.
So, and then I'm going to get to the other part. But when they go back
I see it here. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but when they go back to Krakoa, all of a sudden, then they see Wolverine, Magneto.
Groot.
It looked like Zorn, whatever that guy's name was. I can't remember his name. And I don't know and Groot.
Is that Groot?
I don't know who the fuck that guy was. It
looks
probably
like
wasn't, but
yeah, it looks like Groot to me.
honestly, I think.
But
none
is
of those
that
people,
Magneto? Is that supposed to be Magneto?
That's the thing. I don't think any of those people are who they are.
Okay,
I think
that's
all
what I
of
was
those are
wondering.
Mr. Sinister's breeding ground,
Like
people.
clones or whatever.
Yeah, I think
Like
that's what they are. I think all of them are clones. Yeah, because they already said that all the mutant leaders were killed 100 years ago. So I'm thinking all of them were just, whatever, and they were leading the mutant resistance, whatever.
Because this is like 100 years into the future.
Right. Even though Wolverine can live that long, I'm just gonna go out on a limb and assume that all those guys are clones or whatever. Like they're grown in Mr. Sinister lab, whatever, like that. And then they showed the other girl, the black brain girl that got kidnapped by the Sentinel. She get taken back to the Tower of Ascension, the Ascension Tower or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So you got Nimrod, and you got look like one of the Omega Sentinels, or maybe the Omega Sentinel. And basically, they trying to get information out of her. She's been programmed to resist torture, so they just throw her in this matrix-like tube, and basically saying that eventually they're going to take all the mutants in there, and they're going to assimilate all of their minds, and they're going to absorb them into the machines. So it's the matrix.
It's gonna be like
for mutants.
DNA or whatever. Yeah.
Yeah. So basically,
And who is this Nimrod? He looks like fucking Juggernaut.
Okay, Nimrod is an old character. He's been around, I guess, in the 80s. He was in the sequel. You had Days of Future Past, and you had Days of Future Present, or was it Present Future, or Future Past, what? Fuck. Okay.
You lost me already.
I lost myself already. But anyway, he's a evolved Sentinel from the future that come back to kill the X-Men. He's way more powerful than other X-Men. I mean, other Sentinels.
Okay.
But he never had a personality in those old books. This one, he has like a childlike personality in this one. You're like, ooh, can I put her in the bath? Can I put her in the bath? We'll make a Sentinel. Yes. You see him all like, okay, that's kind of weird for a robot to do that. But anyway, so the book ends when kill her. So fast forward time 1,000 years into the future. And there are only 8 mutants left on planet Earth. The rest of the mutants have gone to the Shi'ar galaxy. And some of them are hoping, and the Shi'ar is actually like using them, for military purposes, stuff like that. And what they're thinking that eventually they're going to conquer the Earth, and they conquer the Earth, they're going to put the mutants back on the Earth and let them run the Earth in their homestead. But they haven't done it yet. So the 8 mutants are left. They're in asteroid K or whatever. And like I said, the boy-girl thing is talking to a version of Nimrod. And I don't know what the fuck happened here. Honestly, I really don't. I'm lost.
I thought of it as almost like they were creating Earth again, or some sort of simulation of Earth, and that's Adam and Eve or something. And then because it says something about God creating or some shit. Let me go see.
So it did look like they basically saying the humans have been wiped off, and they just keeping the humans here for
and hope
reasons.
to God that they never have dominion again. Okay. Yeah, that's a reminder of what the world used to be like, and remember what we overcame.
Yeah, because it did look like it was some cavemen, but I thought it might have been like the Savage Land or some shit. I mean,
yeah, it's important to keep a record of the great sins of history, even better to preserve a remnant, something to point at, and hope to God they never have dominion again. So they're basically saying that the fucking humans are the enemy.
But we don't even know what happened to the humans.
Yeah, but are they keeping? Because it's in like a dome, right? The preserve, yeah, it's like in a preserve. They call it the preserve.
Yeah,
It's why we keep dinosaurs around. Yeah, so it's like it's like almost like a museum. Like
yeah,
the Earth is in a museum.
And stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Typical Hickman. This is okay. Look. I know what you're thinking. This is everybody's praising this. Everybody is licking Hickman's dick right now for the X-Men, and we're sitting there scratching our head like, what the fuck? Here's the thing, Hickman. You gotta play the long game with Hickman. That's the thing with Hickman. Hickman is always tough to get into with these first books. It was like it with Fantastic Four, like that with Avengers, anything he does. But the payoff is always worth it. You gotta wait for you gotta make it to the payoff.
Yeah, that is true.
Because the payoff is insane when he finally puts all this shit together. But it's tough at the beginning. I'm not even gonna lie.
Yeah, because I remember Secret Wars.
Yeah.
And while reading that, I'm like, man. And then a year or two later, I reread it as a collected edition, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Right. Then you get to the point that Doom is a god. He's ripping out Thanos' backbone. Black Panther has the Infinity Gauntlet. They're fighting each other over the fate of the bolt. You're like, what the fuck? Oh, and it's Fantastic Four where he had fucking Franklin Richards using Galactus as his herald, fighting three Celestials. You're like,
Johnny Storm is the sun and shit.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah. Yeah,
but you gotta read all this shit to get to that point, So, because I already know his X-Men shit is gonna be some insane fucking shit like this, also.
Yeah, because I gotta say, like reading House of X, I enjoyed it for what it was. I was able to follow along for the most part.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe because I was familiar with him. He had the Fantastic Four in there. He had Magneto and all that shit. And I was, I enjoyed it for what it was, And then I read this one, and I'm like, okay, this is.
It's a time travel book, so that already tell you it's gonna be like, shit, here we go.
I can tell that this is something monumental. Like this is something special.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's probably why I was like, I'll give this a chance.
He's doing a lot of world building right now.
Yeah, I can tell this is going to be something big. So I figure let me at least try to like familiarize myself with it a little bit, and that's why, because I've never been in any X-Men. I've always tried throughout the years, ever since I was a kid, to try to get into the X-Men. I just couldn't do it. I mean, it was because it was such a soap opera.
Right.
It was it's so hard to penetrate without if you're not familiar with the world. And even back in, was it, 90 or whatever, when Jim Lee took over, that reboot, that relaunch, and all that shit happened, even then I was like, okay, I must try and get into this again. And I read the first issue, Magneto's in space. I'm like, what the fuck? It's like, it's just so, hard to penetrate. And I just never got into the X-Men because of. Now,
I do want to say this one thing about it. That book you just said, X-Men #1, that book killed the comic industry. I'm gonna go into detail about it real quick. Sorry, I get a little sick. Now, that book, X-Men #1, is the #1. It's the highest selling comic book of all time. Period.
I remember, yeah, multiple covers and shit.
Multiple covers thing. But the reason it's so popular is because of that fucking cartoon. People saw the cartoon, saw X-Men #1 was out. They're thinking that book was going to give them money. They're going to be worth money later on.
Yeah, yeah.
So they bought all those covers off, 5 and 10 and 20 issues, stuff like that. Guess how much that book is worth now, 20 years, 30 years later?
Oh, I still see it in dollar bins and shit.
Exactly. It's
still see it in the plastic and shit.
It's less now than it was when we bought it back then in the 90s. So all that speculator's market killed the comic industry. Shit like that, Death of Superman, all the other bullshit that was going on. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Okay, let's rate this book.
I mean, good. I give it a 3 out of 5 just because, and like I said, I read House of X and this one back to back. So I read the first one. I'm like, okay, that was cool. Then I read this one. I'm like, not as cool. But I can still tell.
I agree with you.
I can still tell that this is something big. That this is, yeah. You said yeah. I agree. It's world building. He's, he's laying the groundwork.
Yeah.
For what's to come. And is this gonna be like a new series of X-Men? I mean, is he setting up like a whole 20 books of shit?
That's
like
exactly what he's doing.
20 series. We're gonna have the X-Men, then the X-Force, and then the X-Pac and X-Burger.
Yeah, they are. They already said it.
That's what this is doing? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, they've already announced it. They got a X-Men book with the Summers family, the House of X, I can't remember. Excalibur's coming back, X-Force coming back, all the bullshit's coming back. Hickman's over everything.
So, yeah, okay. But like I said, I can tell that this is a big deal. And I don't know. I'll stay with it. I'll get through this event. Should I make that pack? Holy shit! How much is this? Let me see. God damn, it's like every week.
$5 a book. I know that.
And it's like every week for
every single week, right?
For the next 2 months.
It's 6 issues per book, so it's 12 issues.
Yeah. So
every week.
Every week. Woo!
It's tough. It's a commitment. We'll see. I'm gonna stick with it because I want to see. I'm gonna see what these 12 issue goes. If Hickman sticks the landing with these 12 issues, I'm sold. If it's just more and more bullshit, I'm just like, give me something.
Well, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm at right now. That's where I'm like, holy fuck. Like I thought I would do that.
Yeah, I mean, but I get he's breaking down the X-Men. He's breaking them down to ground level and building them back up. That's what he's doing with these books.
Yeah.
So that's why it's taking a while. It's the rebuilding year for the X-Men.
And I think for me is like what I guess what I'm trying to get out of it is this gonna make me get into the X-Men is what I'm trying to.
I'm gonna tell you like this. Even with these first 2 books I read, I've never read an X-Men book like this before. That's just me. And I've read a lot of X-Men books before. Mm-hmm. So that's why I'm curious to see what is he even planning. Like, what's his end game? That's what I'm wondering where he's going with this.
Yeah, like a new X-Men, like a person who's not familiar with the X-Men, mm-hmm. Would they be able to get into this?
But that's the thing, like, because Hickman isn't like drawing from continuity. I mean, he is, but it's not like you have to read all the other shit to know what's going on. This is some new stuff, but the thing is, it's Hickman, and it's his writing style is just tough to get into. You have to kind of be really into comics in order to even get into Hickman. Like a person never read comics before, I can't hand him a Hickman book. I can't do it. Mm-hmm. And so, like I said, we've been reading books for a while, and it's tough for us to break this shit down. So
yeah, it was like even with all the little glossaries and shit,
right?
So.
That's why I'm curious to see what other people got to see about the book, to see what they probably gonna like. Comic-Con cast probably got some shit that we completely missed over.
Well, I know they loved, I mean, especially Gomer. He loved the first book.
Oh yeah, they loved it. Well, Adam didn't like it. Adam didn't like it.
Well, he doesn't like it.
I was waiting for somebody to say everybody was like, "Oh, this greatest book ever, greatest book ever." Oh, everybody was like, "This book ain't all that." Like, thank you. Somebody said it.
Yeah. I mean, I got into it for what it was, and like I said, I could tell that it's something special. Mm-hmm. But I can't say that, is this gonna get me into the? Is this finally gonna get me into the X-Men? Is this gonna make me a fan of the X-Men?
I can't say it just yet, but I'm gonna stick with it just to see, because I'm curious to see where it goes, and I'm curious to see what kind of world is Hickman building, before I just say, okay, I'm out. Once I understand where he's going with it, then I kind of make my decision of what I'm going to do with this book.
And I think for especially in this book, as it was because there was so many other things going on. There was all these different time periods, and just trying to latch on to what was going on in each one was, I think that's what kind of not so much confusing, but sort of, okay, I'm into this Rasputin character. Mm-hmm. But then let's fast forward 1,000 years into the future, or let's go back into the past. You know what I mean? Let's switch all over the place, and that's where I'm like, okay, it's getting a little convoluted now.
Right. All right. Well, I'm gonna rate it. I'm gonna say 3.5. Honestly, because I do kind of like the Rasputin character, and it does seem like Hickman is trying to promote this character. So I'll say that. Even though the ending with 1,000 years in the future, I'm like, what? It was the same way with that Avenger book when he had him go like 1,000,000 years into the future. I didn't know what the fuck was going on. I didn't know what the hell Franklin Richards was telling Captain America, but Captain America was like, okay, you like it, I love it. So, yeah. All right. Now it's your turn. It's your turn to do a book.
So we still doing Marvel? All right, fuck it. Oh, yeah, Marvel.
Yeah, let's knock out Marvel. Yeah.
All right, Marvel. Let's see. Captain America. Fuck that. Death's Head. Fuck that. Fantastic Four.
Here we go. This is the one I was waiting on.
Yeah. So Fantastic Four, Hulk versus the Thing. I was a little worried about this. This is the Immortal Hulk. And that's like one of my favorite books right now. So when I saw this, I was like, really? Do I want to see the Immortal Hulk in the Fantastic Four universe? Or, I mean, I get it's the Marvel universe, but the Immortal Hulk is like this separate sort of dark thing, happening in its own story, and it's awesome. So I was like wondering, is this going to fuck it up by throwing him in the happy-go-lucky Fantastic Four book? But I gotta say, it was fun. It was just like old school fun. You got Ben Grimm and Alicia going on their honeymoon. Reed Richards gave Ben the serum, basically going to turn him into human form so he can go on his honeymoon, knock the boots with Alicia.
Right, I was
be human.
The
problem is it takes like 12 hours to kick in or some shit. So they get to the island. They're on some, they're on their honeymoon on some, private island somewhere. Well, it's not private. It's some, paradise island, whatever, Tahiti or wherever the fuck they're at, Bahamas or wherever they went. And then the Immortal Hulk shows up, but he's being controlled by the Puppet Master. I don't know why. I don't know how, but whatever. Okay. And he starts fucking. He's like, and the Puppet Master is what's her face's dad? Is it
Alicia Masters?
Dad? Yeah, it's her. So he hates Ben Grimm, so he's using the Immortal Hulk to fuck him up. And basically, it's a bit of a fight, and then he punches the Thing across the island, and he causes this avalanche, and Alicia gets buried. And he's got to save Alicia, and that's kind of where it ends. To be continued.
Oh, okay.
But the thing is he's about to turn into Ben Grimm in about a minute.
Oh, that's right. Oh shit.
Yeah. So
it's like that Damage book on DC.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's yeah. He's got about a minute to beat up the Hulk. But that's the next issue. So like, damn it. You're gonna make me buy another.
That's actually pretty clever. That's a pretty clever cliffhanger.
Yeah, so it was fun. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. It's the first Fantastic Four book I've read in years. So.
It sounded like
and
first
it took the Immortal Hulk. Yeah, and the Immortal Hulk got me to do it. So yeah, 4 out of 5.
Cool. Okay. Shit, it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Damn. So I got to do this Last Night on Earth book, huh?
Oh yeah.
Okay, you gonna help me out with this one because that X-Men took so much out of me. So yeah, this is Batman Last Night on Earth, or some people are calling it Old Man Bruce.
Yeah.
So basically how the book starts off. The book starts off with Joe Chill cooking himself a sandwich or something. Who cares what he's getting? Batman kicks in the door, finds him. Joe Chill, what was that boy doing in the crime alley? Because last issue, a boy shot Batman in the chest when he was at Crime Alley. And Joe Chill was like, yeah, that boy, he said like the boy might have been his son or something. I'm not really clear about it. He was like, well, Bruce, that's what I do. So Joe Chill was kind of telling them that, yeah, Batman, I know who you are. For those who don't know who Joe Chill is, Joe Chill killed Batman's parents. Depending on with this post-crisis, pre-crisis, mid-crisis, after crisis, flash crisis, whatever. Depending, I guess now he killed him. So he knows who he is. Batman lights Joe Chill's house on fire and basically telling him, tell me who it is, I'm going to burn down your whole house. Who's that boy? So we cut to the future, and Batman wakes up. He has the Joker's head in a lantern. They go cross country, I guess, all the way from Coast City all the way to the plains of Solitude, you know, wherever that is. Not in Antarctic, it's somewhere in America. They go there because basically Batman looked at Superman. He was like, Superman's got to still be alive. I mean, who can kill Superman? He goes there, but he passed out because it took too long to get there. And Superman rescues him, but it's not Superman. It's actually just a robot Superman that's being controlled by Lex Luthor. And not only did he have that Superman, he's actually got a shitload of Superman. And basically, Batman's trying to find, okay, what the fuck happened to Superman? Why are you here? What the hell is going on? He tells what happened. Lex Luthor tells Batman that the ending of Superman basically came down to this. I made a pact with Superman that I made a final decision. We were going to debate on the concept of good and evil, and we were going to debate it with the entire world because I programmed Starro to hook into everybody's mind on the planet, and we can find out exactly whether or not they agree with me or they agree with Superman. And the loser dies. Like, okay. So he gets into a debate with Superman, and Superman actually wins the argument. So he knows it's time for Lex Luthor, so Lex Luthor has to die. But before Lex Luthor can die, because he was basically going to die by kryptonite shards coming up from the land and stabbing him, Superman tries to save him at the last minute, but he ends up getting himself stabbed. Kind of like Quicksilver saved Hawkeye in Age of Ultron. Basically, that's what happened. So Superman dies because he's getting stabbed by kryptonite. So Lex Luthor's just in this place, controlling all these Superman robots, and he's been trying to work on a way to access the multiverse to bring in another Superman to save him. But every time he brings in a Superman, they die before they even get to the Earth. So those were all those Superman ships that he was throwing at Batman at the beginning. He was basically came from the multiverse. Cut to Alfred. Alfred is back in that made-up world of Gotham that he made to, you know, keep Bruce a prisoner. And Bane and Scarecrow show up. They show up, and Scarecrow basically says, he told us to come here to get you. You're like, oh, he knows, I know who he is. And the he they're talking about is Omega. Nobody knows who Omega is. We don't know who Omega is, but they're dropping clues that Omega is somehow related to Batman, or maybe even one of the people Batman trained. We don't really know.
It's Jason Todd.
It's got to be Jason Todd. It's always Jason Todd. If it's Jason Todd, we're gonna be fucking pissed off for real. So, but anyway, Omega tells Bane and Scarecrow to go after Bruce. So they find Batman back at the plains of Solitude, and they basically, Scarecrow has done something to reprogram the Superman robots, and Superman robots come after Bruce. And before they can kill Bruce, Wonder Woman shows up. Wonder Woman shows up, chops off the Superman robot's head, chops up the other Superman, and Lex Luthor is like, and Batman tells Lex Luthor, okay, that thing that you used to program the multiverse, I know you can teleport us away here, like 50 miles away. Do it. So Lex Luthor stays behind. They teleport through outside of the plains of Solitude, and they end up landing on the Spectre's Cape. They go through Spectre Cape, and they can actually go through the land of the dead. They go through the land of the dead, pop up on the other side, and they go to New Gotham. This New Gotham that Omega has made for himself. And while they're walking around, they get ambushed by the Court of Owls. Before the Court of Owls can fight them, Batman says, "It's me, Bruce. Don't fight me. I know who you are." And then the head guy in the Court of Owls like, "Oh, Bruce?" And then he takes off his helmet, and it's Nightwing. And they don't attack. He's bearded up. He's old, stuff like that. Like, Bruce, I thought you were dead. That's how the book ends. So, overall, after reading House of 10 or Powers of 10, this is a much more easier, breezier read. So,
I read this first before the X-Men book.
You should have read that one first and then this one. It was like, this was a palate cleanser for me. So it was much easier. I think I'm going to give it a higher switch just because it was much easier get in and get out book to read, but it still had a lot of world building it also, but it wasn't up its own ass like Hickman was. So overall, yeah, I'm going to give this book a 4.5 out of 5 because it was a lot of stuff that I liked in this book. That's me.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool too. It did remind me of Old Man Logan. You know.
It's a ripoff, but what is it?
Yeah, I mean, I liked all the little different places. You know, you got the fucking swamp thing. You know, in the
I
air
was
and
waiting
shit.
for Swamp Thing when they said the red and the green showed up. I was waiting for Swamp Thing to show up and start fucking up people.
Yeah, the Flash, the dust storm or whatever
Look at like all the speeds in there. Bruce, help
speed,
me!
the Speed Force storm or whatever it was called and shit. That was
I
kind
forgot
of
about
cool.
that. That's the thing. The book is funny. They have jokes in this book.
Yeah.
There were no jokes in X-Men. Because when that horse died, and because Joker, and Bruce was like, "I'll let this horse be Robin before you." And then when the horse dies, and Joker was
Yeah.
like, "Damn, I liked him. I
I like that Robin. Yeah. That was funny, you know. And but you know, I liked it when they got to that base and shit, and all those like mutant Animal Men or whatever.
Yeah, because I was waiting for Animal Man to show up, but then they had the Animal Men show up. I'm like, okay, this is fucked up.
And there was this one panel that I thought really stood out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, a war zone where instead of working together, we fought each other for what little power was left.
Right.
And I was like, wow, I think that was a huge statement.
Oh, even just the whole point of what Bruce was doing there, because he was on the back glider and he was talking to Joker. He was like, maybe we should go down and help. And Joker was like, help who? He's like, help everybody. I'm like, you can't help everybody. And then he just flew past them. He didn't stop. He didn't help anybody. Didn't talk to anybody. He just flew past the war zone. But you know, that's something Batman can't do. But in this situation, he has no choice. So I thought that was pretty interesting myself.
Yeah, and like the journey through this world, this weird, fucked up, you know, wastelands and shit.
Yep.
I thought I mean, it was fun. I enjoyed it. It did get a little Snydery for me at some point. Snyder, you know, just cramming shit as usual. You know, I got a little, you know, confusing and convoluted at times, but it's Snyder. It's to be expected, I guess. You know, I'm sure the universe is going to blow up and reset itself at the end of this book.
And like in every Snyder book, so yeah.
Yeah, you know. So, but yeah, I give it a 4 out of 5. I enjoyed it for the most part.
Ooh.
And you know, the art, of course, Capullo.
Oh yeah, that's why I gave him 4.5 out of 5, because Capullo, he's brilliant. So
yeah.
All right, you got to do the other Batman book, cause I'm gonna okay. I'm gonna let
Did you read this?
I didn't. I'm gonna tell you why I didn't. Okay, this is the Batman Who Laughs, and I know it's the final issue of it. But here's the thing: I can't stand that lettering and that coloring on the Batman Who Laughs voice, or whatever you want to call it. It's annoying as fuck to me.
And are you reading this digitally?
Yes.
So I'm sure on your screen it looks ultra shitty.
It looks super shitty. I'm just like, I can't.
Red bleeds. Like when I'm doing graphic design and shit, and if there's a difference between print and, you know, on screen.
Right.
And red's a bad color for like a TV or
it's hard to read, because you know Comic Sans give you like those 3 free pages. Mm-hmm. So I tried to read those pages, and I was like, I can't do it. I can't do it. I am not gonna pay $5 for this shit. I'm not gonna do it.
And it's in that creepy font too, you know.
It makes it even harder to read. I'm like, I'm not gonna pay for this. I can't do it. So I was like, Eli gonna review this shit anyway. I just listen to him what he got to say.
Yeah. Well, this sums up this wraps up the Batman Who Laughs story arc. Do you want me to spoil it?
Fuck it, go for it. Just let me have it.
Well, Batman saves the day. The good guys win.
That's pretty much every story ever. So okay.
Yeah. It's just it came down to you know, the Joker, the Batman Who Laughs, basically taking that final step into becoming this universe's Batman Who Laughs. Mm-hmm. You know, but he somehow planned. Of course, he had some shit up his sleeve, and he tricked his way out of it. Alfred shows up with a shotgun at some point. Gordon's son, the serial killer kid, mm-hmm. He flips out and he kills the Punisher Batman.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then he Batman had kept like these electrified harpoons. He set them up, so he did prepare, and he did prepare and caught the Batman Who Laughs off guard, and then shocked him with the harpoon grenades or whatever. Or
Sound like a cop out, but okay.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to remember. This was like the first book I read, and I wanted to get it out of the way because I wasn't into the story. I'm just trying to remember now. But basically, the most memorable thing, and probably my favorite part of the book, is where after he gets a blood transfusion, he gets the toxin out of him, and he's basically talking with Alfred, like, oh yeah, I would have turned into the Joker or the Batman Who Laughs, but this serum saved me, and Alfred's like, no, actually it wasn't. It was your will. You're Batman. It's always been your will, and gives the whole pep talk of your determination and will is what makes you good. And that's your power. That's your greatest strength, is you have the will to do what others won't. And which I thought, okay, that sums up who Batman is. Pretty cool.
Basically, okay.
And that's about it. I mean, you know how I felt about the series. I wasn't into it, and for them to stretch out this book, because did they add a couple issues? Wasn't this only supposed to be a 5
Yeah,
issue?
and then they added the Terminator Batman, and then an extra issue after that just felt like fucking filler.
Yeah, and it just overall, I'm just like, this whole series was just sort of meh for me, and so I give this a 3 out of 5.
Okay.
It was, I just wasn't into it as much, so that's why I barely remember. I think you should have did this book.
I should have, but that barrier, I was just like, I can't do this anymore. Honestly, House of 10 or Powers of 10 would have took so much out of me. I was like, I'm done.
Yeah, well, I read this first. I was like, oh, let me get this out of the way, because I know I'm not. Let me just find out what happens so I can be done with this. Because if I read this towards the end, if I would have read this after the X-Men, then I would have
like, you wouldn't have cared.
I would like, fuck this, I don't care. Or did he win? Yeah, Batman wins. Fuck it, who cares? And now we're on to that. I am interested in this fucking the Superman Batman book that they're gonna come out with.
Okay.
Where they're supposed to fight the Batman Who Laughs, I guess.
Oh, really?
That's what it looks like on the cover. So,
Okay.
And that's the thing. I think reason why is like you didn't get that. You didn't get much of Batman Who Laughs. He was always in the shadows. You know what I mean? He was always in the background.
Okay.
You didn't get much of him in this whole series.
I was hoping for maybe like a twist ending, like maybe this was how the Batman Who Laughs was really, like he made it, like there's an alternate version of Batman, like a multiverse version, and this is like he's creating another Batman Who Laughs. He becomes the Batman Who Laughs and kills everybody. That was like a special ending, but we didn't get that. It's just a typical Batman story. So
yeah, he just made. Yeah, I mean, it's more about Bruce trying not to become this version or this universe's Batman Who Laughs.
Yeah, I don't know. I was hoping it was like longer. I was hoping for more stakes or something. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't into it. I don't know. And I'm a Batman fan, and I don't know.
Well, I got nothing left. You got any other books then?
No, I'm done.
Yeah, X-Men has drained us. Okay. Yeah, I think that's it. So if you listen this long, definitely like, share, and subscribe. We have other podcasts. We have Geeks Avs, our sister podcast. We also have Comic Cast. Definitely listen to them. See what they got to say about Powers of 10. See if they actually say Powers of 10. That's what I'm curious. We also have Hoodoo TV, Get Valiant, This Geeks and Comics, a Transformer podcast. Can't remember the name off the top of my head, but Gomer, that's his favorite. So
Instrument of Destruction.
yeah, all that. And next week we'll come with something else. We don't know what's going on. I'll probably go see Hobbs and Shaw and get my review on it. I'll probably agree everything.
Oh, is it because it was multiplied by 10?
I guess.
Year 10,
Sure,
or year 1,
Let's go.
then year 10, then year 100, then year 1000.
Oh
Is
shit.
that why?
Oh shit.
Ah,
Oh damn. Okay.
yeah. Who cares?
Symbolism. And that being said, this is Leroy.
This is Eli.
We talk to you guys next week. Same bullet time, same bullet channel.
I hit the loot juice. Ed pulls up in the deuce. He gives me the scoop about the fake ass truths and how niggas out there wanna play. I take another hit of the wet and then I blast away. How far, player? Far enough to go off the edge. I push another nigga off the ledge. So I stumble as I slide to the Chevy. Yeah, my eyes kinda teary and gun kinda heavy. I'm a walking dead man is what they call me when I'm coming. Got the big S on my chest, so I'm kinda gunning high powered on my way to the west side. To check up on some chickens, it's a hell of a drive, so drive on. As I hit my dodo stick to the break of dawn. Crime fighting's what I do, and niggas in my crew don't take lightly to you busters, and so we say fuck you, then buck you, tuck you in for the night. As you think about the paper at the funeral site. So when I'm hanging with the clique and we in demand, I feel good that the city of angels call me Black Superman.
Floss and tossing, dipping and tripping, you know what I'm saying?
Hey, Hush, man, they just went at your mama house, man. I don't know what they got, so I'm broke, man. They looking for us, man. Call me over at Peach's house, man.
Now it was once said by an old OG, always trying to come up, yeah, and that's the key. Cause where I'm from, it's like a curse. Cause see, once in a lifetime, everybody did some dirt. I guess it got to me the same. So at the age of 15, I entered the dope game. I had my game locked up tight. In the day I went to school, but I clocked all night. And when I went to class, I always fell asleep. But I was out like a motherfucker. If somebody beat, my teacher say, boy, can't they wait? I said, no, I got to put some more icing on my cake. I think I saved about 50 G's. I bought a truck, a house, and a coupe on D's. Mom's is tripping, but she really don't know. All I'm thinking, if she ain't on the county, don't know. Before my mama fuck